okay, I was telling Michael, I said, I never get nervous about these things. I really, truly don't. For some reason, talking to Frake is getting me a little bit nervous. So it's a good thing. I'm honored to be in your presence here.
Hey, no problem, man. And
Yeah.
for me, it's actually only the second podcast that I've done and the first one live. So I'm a little bit nervous as well. So
okay, we'll do good. Before we get
right.
started here, can you help me understand? You sent me a picture the other day. I said what everybody thinks podcasting look like and what podcasting really looks like. And I sent a picture of me in my closet. Okay, and then you said it actually looks good in real life sometimes too. And you were like in front of this massive setup. Can you explain that picture to me?
Yeah. So one of my passions besides coding is music.
Oh, okay.
And in the town where I live, Antwerp, there's a local radio station, and I've got a radio show there. I think now for like 10 years. And every first Saturday of the month, I have my own hour where I can pick the music. And yeah, that picture was taken inside the studio while I was busy broadcasting. So
that's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
so it's not in my home; it's a real radio studio there.
I was gonna say, like, you're sitting in front of like a mixer board. I'm like, is he like mixing his own audio as he's speaking here? Like, that's a little bit more advanced than what I'm used to. I literally have a little switch on my microphone that says on or off, and that's about as advanced as it gets for me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always mixing a little bit of music in and out. So yeah.
That's fun. That's fun. Pretty cool. I did not know that. So do you produce music, your own music, or are you just like playing music? Or
well, I'm in the radio show. I'm just playing music, but I also have my own band. So I think I've been playing music all my life. Yeah, and I try to practice with my band once or sometimes twice a week. So
cool.
So very cool.
Yeah.
We've got people, so help me understand how this works, guys, as far as people joining in. Hey, welcome. How's it going, buddy? Is it David?
Dan, I think.
Dan or David?
Yeah.
Daniel.
Hey,
Daniel.
I guess I should probably mute.
No, you're all right. Yeah, I'm not sure how any of this works, Eric. So you're gonna have to
did Eric tweet out the live link?
Maybe I did. I don't know.
I'm here from Jacob's link.
Okay, let me look real quick.
I'll leave.
Did I post the wrong link out? All I did is I posted the link that
oh, you put the hangout video. You don't want to post that.
Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me go to my profile and I gotta delete my tweet. Hey, welcome to the show though. You're being recorded right now. No, I'm just kidding. You're not really. Okay, fine. All right, I deleted it. Okay, we should be all set. All right, so why don't we, we've had a chance just to talk a little bit here. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the show? And then, Michael, you're going to mix this in later, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So here's the intro. Welcome to the Laravel News Podcast, and I'll start. Welcome back to the Laravel News Podcast, everyone. This is episode 37, and this is our very first pre-Laracon speaker interview episode. And this also happens to be our very first live recording. So we are on Google Hangouts right now, and we're doing this live for the first time. So, and I accidentally tweeted out the link that allows everybody to join into the Hangout. So my bad. I didn't know that was the thing, but we're having people come into the live thing. So, so welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got with us our very first guest speaker, guest interview person on the show today. As promised, we have with us Mr. Frake van der Herten. How did I do it? Van der Herten or Van der Herten?
Van der Herten.
Van der Herten.
Yeah,
so Frake van der Herten.
You say it pretty good. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, 8 out of 10. It's one notch down from where we were before, but I'll take it. So
we'll get back up to 10 by the end of the show, I think.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So the format that we're going to take here is we've got kind of probably 4 or 5 standard questions that we're interested in asking all the speakers that we're going to have on. And then we've got a couple listener questions that we've had come in as well. So we'll just go ahead and get started with this list of standard questions we've got here. So Frake, for anybody who's not familiar with you or where you're from or what it is that you do or what company you work at, would you mind just taking a minute here and introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Frake. I work at a company called Spatie. I'm a developer there, and I'm also one of the owners. We mainly develop Laravel applications. We exist now, I think, for about 10 years or something like that. And Laravel in the 4.0 days. And when we started out using the framework, we really liked it, but we missed some function. I guess that we invented some functionality and open sourced it to help other people as well. So we mainly create CMS kind of websitey things. So the open source package that we put out are mainly used to build to build applications like that.
Very cool. Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. It's funny because I had a couple different things here I was going to ask you as far as like, hey, what version did you start with? But you answered most of that for us. So I looked on the website today to see if they had announced what it is that all the speakers are going to be talking about, and nothing's out there yet. So I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it yet or not, but are you able to give us just what topic you're kind of speaking on for Laracon this year?
Yeah, I'm not going into detail about what I'm going to say exactly during the talk, but about a year ago, I created a dashboard with Vue and Laravel, and my talk is probably going to be a technical dive into that. So
Okay.
that's what we'll do, and we'll touch upon all the cool things that are in there, because when I'm at conferences, I see a lot of talks about the higher concepts and stuff like that. But I think there should be more talks on specific projects or how things were done to give practical information. And I'm going to try to do that during my talk.
Very good. Yeah. I have not gotten around to using that. I know you have had that out there for a little while. I've actually got plans to do that in a couple different places at the business that I work and put it up on some big TVs and things like that. But I know it's really popular. Is that one of your more popular packages out there?
Well, I don't have a download count of the dashboard because it isn't on packages. It's just a Laravel application that you can just copy and modify yourself. Whereas with the packages, we have a download count from packages. But I tweet this question every few months. Just send me some pictures of your customized dashboards, and I always get pictures back. So I guess some people are using it, and I think it's not for a hobby, because I see it also used with companies that put useful metrics for their company up there. So I guess it's being used a little.
Yeah, that was the idea that I had for it. Is we have a couple different metrics that we track, and it's really helpful for people to be able to see those throughout the day. And it can be a little bit challenging or annoying, I guess, for them to have a tab open on their computer all the time. So it'd be nice if we had a big TV or something out in the main area where they could all kind of see their stats for the day.
Yeah, we were talking about using it just this week, actually. So, yeah, looking forward to having a dive into it, because I know that it's been around for quite a while. So, I do thank you for that, because it'll make my job just that little bit easier.
Yeah, guys, the audio is breaking up really badly on my end here. I don't know if you can still hear me.
I will kill my video.
Yeah, I mean, I can kill my video too if that helps. Let me do that.
Okay. Yeah, I killed my video already. Okay, let's hope that this will be better.
All right, how's that working for you?
Yeah, it's good. I think there's less breakup now.
Cool.
All right.
So we will recover and we will edit all of it out, and only the people that are listening live will hear any of this anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just saying, and I don't know how much of it you heard, but I was just talking about the fact that we're going to look at putting up a dashboard in my office, and we're just talking about it this week, actually. So I do look forward to having a play around with using yours as a base, and I thank you for making my life easier, as you do. I'm sure thousands of developers around the world.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always happy that our stuff is getting used, and I think if you know your way around Vue and Laravel, and then, you do, then I think it will be no problem to customize it at all, because it's a project that seems a little bit advanced if you don't know it, but if you dive a little bit into it, then you'll see that it's actually very, very easy set up. So
Yeah, as I find with most of your packages. So
thank you.
So, one question that Jake and I do like to ask a lot about, or a lot from people that we do interview, which is something that we find, I think, kind of unique, is that how you got into development, what sort of drove you towards programming, and how you got to where you are today, basically.
Well, it actually started when I was watching Laracasts in the early days. Jeffrey put out a video on package development, and in there he showed that you can run automated tests on Travis and get the status of your test into GitHub. And yeah, my mind was really blown by that. And I thought, yeah, I want to make something where I can use Travis and GitHub. And so at the time, I was busy creating a new version of our company website, and we wanted to have some automated screenshots on there of the projects that we've made. And then I created my first package that could create screenshots of websites programmatically. It's called Browser Shot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was very exciting to code out in the open. It's a very simple package. It's just basically a class around Phantom JS, and I got the test up and running, and it was pretty great. And yeah, I started to get some traction with that. Some people were blogging about it, and I thought, hey, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I haven't stopped ever since, I think, because before we used Laravel at our company, we used Zend framework, and we've built our own kind of mini CMS. And there were a lot inside that CMS that just weren't available in Laravel or in the Laravel packages world. And yeah, so I basically ported them all over to our new CMS that was based on Laravel, and I wound up with this folder inside the app directory called services, and I got there services analytics, services newsletter, services media library, and I thought, hey, I really want to kill this services library. I just want to have them all in the package world. So I think the first like 20 packages that were just cleaning out the services folder in our application and just putting it all in the package world.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I've actually had a similar experience with a couple of my things where it was just like it was sitting in the exact same thing. I had the name of my company and then /services underneath that directory, and I was like, you know what? I'm having to copy and paste this into every single one of my applications. I'm going to extract this and put it into a package. Now, granted, it's not a publicly available package. The ones that I've made that are they're not. Some of them aren't necessarily useful to the outside world. They're pretty specific to what we're doing. But yeah, that's a nice way to do that. It makes it easy to develop it, kind of, and work out all the bugs before you have to shift your mindset.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of like I have to push it into a package, kind of divorced from the actual structure of the app.
Yeah, because if you have to copy it into every other application, that's what we did before we had things in the package. Take the media library package, for instance. In the early Laravel applications that we've made, they were all separate. And yeah, when you discovered bugs, you fixed them inside A, but just forgot to fix them inside B and C, and it became a mess after a time. Mm-hmm. And having it in a package makes it much more easier to distribute all of the bug fixes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it took some time to create those packages, but I'm pretty sure it saved us a lot of time in the long run. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
it
think
certainly does. And it makes it easier to then obviously share those things with other people. And if they're useful for yourself, they're, as you've clearly found that they're going to be useful for other people. So it's a pretty good way if you find yourself, just to save yourself time, is to start extracting things to packages, if for no other reason, to stop needing to, copy and paste. And as you say, from a maintainability point of view, you only have to update the package in one place, and then you just update any project that's depending on it. So, and the nice byproduct of that is that you then can help in the open source community.
Yeah, sure. And the open source community helps you back, because there were also some packages. I think it's mainly the Laravel Fractal package, which is a wrapper around Leak's Fractal package, and that package really wrote itself. So I wrote the basic functionality, just what I needed into the project, and I think in a month's time, I got 6 or 7 very good pull requests, and that package now can do everything that the Fractal package can. And I only wrote, I think, 20% of the package, and yeah, we use it now on all our projects. So you get some nice things back from the community as well if you just create packages.
Yeah,
100%.
and I think for those of you who this is your first time hearing about Frederick, which if you've listened to the podcast before, that can't be the case because we talk about him on a regular basis. One of the things that Frederick is most well known for in the community is the fact that Spatie, is that how you say it? Spatie?
Spatie.
Spatie.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So Spatie is really well known for all the open source packages that they have, and a large majority of them are Laravel packages that you can pull in. So one of the questions that I had, and really a lot of the listener questions that we have, really revolve around this idea of open source and where you get ideas for your packages, what are the first steps you take when creating a package, and those sorts of things. And we can talk about those. One of the things I wanted to ask, though, was what role open source kind of plays at Spatie. As far as, was it an intentional decision on the part of you guys as the owners to say, we really want to expose ourselves to new clients through building open source packages and pushing them out there? Or was it really kind of just a byproduct of needing to have maintainable pieces of code out there that, like you said, you could bug fix and have them reflect across all of your installations? And that sounds kind of more like what it came out of. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, it actually started a little bit like I said in the previous question, like an experiment of myself, because I was just piqued with what Jeffrey was showing in his video on creating packages, and there really wasn't a big plan at our company to get known in open source. It just grew out of the urge to learn these things and to learn how to code better. So we never, in the beginning, never really had a plan to get popular with this. It's the popularity is just a byproduct, and I say it on my blog now and then, that the popularity of those packages is not our main goal. It's a nice benefit, and we do attract clients with it nowadays, but that wasn't our primary goal. That's a really nice benefit of it, though. Because our name has a little bit grown in the open source community, whereas previously I mainly used my free time to create on those packages. We saw, this is becoming important for the company as well. So now we dedicate some company time to work on open source as well, because we see that it's really beneficial for our company as well. So
yeah,
it's all grown a little bit organically. We never had a big plan of doing this. So and even now we don't have a plan of we want to make this package or this package. It's just we let it grow as we go. So there isn't a plan for in 2007 we have to create 15 packages or something like that. It's just we create stuff because specific client projects that we get, and for things that just pique our interest. So that's how we create how we get ideas for new stuff.
Perfect. A lot of the questions that I was asked, to ask you on the show. One of the other ones, there's a couple of them, but one of the other ones that was out there that I think you've answered before, but I'll ask it here on the air so you can answer it here. Some of your more recent packages only support the latest version of PHP, so like 7.1. Could you talk a little bit about, some people are stuck on older versions and things like that, and I've heard some people in the community be like, well, why aren't you, porting it back to 5.6 or whatever? And I know you've responded to that before, so I just wanted to give you a chance to do that here on air as well.
Yeah, sure. Well, I get that people wonder about this, and I guess it really sucks if you're on an old PHP version and you want to use one of our packages. But like I mentioned before, the popularity of our packages is really not our main goal. And every package that we've made is made for a specific client project. And we always try to use the latest PHP versions for our client project. So right now we're creating everything in 7.1. The most things that we do are greenfield things, so we can basically do whatever we want. And so it makes kind of sense for us to create those packages that have a requirement of the latest and greatest version of PHP as well, because in our project we use the new things like iterable types and the return types and such. And it would really suck for us if we couldn't do that in our packages, because we ourselves don't need PHP 5.6 support, so we are not going to invest time in it, because new features in PHP 7 and 7.1 more expressive code, and we try to make as readable code as we can, and we really think that those new features in PHP 7 and 7.1 can help us do that. So that's why we choose for those versions as well. But if you need PHP 5.6 support, you have a few. You can fork our packages and just maintain your own 5.6 compatible copy. Or what you can also do, but that's maybe a little bit expensive, you can pay me to do it, but I'm not going to invest my free time in it to create code that I'm not going to use.
This is the beauty of open source, right? I mean, anybody can fork the package and make a different version that supports what they need. So
so
I do feel what you're saying there, Freek, and I know that with a couple of packages that I've created, I've tried to sort of maintain at least a couple of versions of support for the Laravel framework, and you just find that things can change, not necessarily significantly, but change enough that between, say, 5.2 and 5.4, some functionality that I had relied on just isn't there anymore. So even just in framework versions, it gets pretty tricky to maintain a single version that supports multiple versions of the framework, and then you end up having to maintain different major releases, and it gets a bit messy. But I guess on the back of what you're saying about always using the latest and greatest, do you or does Spatie like maintain projects once they're finished and hand it off to clients? Like, would you go back to a 5.6 project and upgrade it to 7 or anything like that?
Well, most of the projects that we have just stay with us. So we create applications, and we also manage the hosting of them. And after the project itself is finished, we maintain it. Mm-hmm. And projects, we have a little maintenance budget, and what we do with it is if we have some time, to actually upgrade the versions, the PHP versions on the server. So for the projects that we touch upon and add features to it, the first thing we do is probably go to upgrade it to the latest and greatest PHP version, and if it's possible, we also upgrade the framework. So
very cool. One other question that I had, and it's on the back of some work that we are doing at my day job, is in terms of having like a base, like a skeleton repository that you start from. Because you or Spatie has got one of those, if I recall correctly, is that right?
Yeah, sure. Do you refer now to our Blender repo for creating applications?
I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're creating a new project from that skeleton, are you then using that as a fork? Like, are you forking from that to then update any application from it, or do they then become standalone in their own right?
It becomes standalone in its own right. So we create a new repo for that new project, and we just create what's then the master version of Blender into that new project, and then they're separate.
Okay, so you wouldn't use the base repo to then update any of the ones that you've created from it later on.
No.
Okay, cool.
No. But most of the code into Blender is actually in packages. So we can pull in a lot of bug fixes just by running Composer update. I think if you open up the Composer JSON file of Blender, I think you'll find I think 30 packages of our own in there. So most of the code is already in packages. So it isn't a problem that they're separate.
Great.
Okay, 2 questions, final questions. Actually, 3. I'll try to make this fast. Number one, how many shrines have you discovered in Zelda?
I think around 40 or 50 or something like that.
This was a listener question by Christoph Rumpel.
Okay.
And so he wanted to know how many you've discovered. So
a lot.
Okay. Second question. Go ahead.
So the most time I spent was in the shrine. I think it was called the big battle challenge or something like that, with a big robot. And I think I spent like more than an hour in that single dungeon to defeat the thing, because I really wanted to destroy it. Zelda is such an awesome game. So.
Yeah, I've yet to check that out. I've got to get it. Michael, you've got a Switch, right?
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I have not played Zelda at all. It wasn't really part of my childhood. I was a Sega guy growing up, so Nintendo stuff wasn't really big for me. But my wife has sunk a lot of time in it, to the point where she's normally, very religious about school nights, and she's in bed early, make sure she gets a good night sleep. But for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks after Zelda came out, she was coming to bed 10, 11 o'clock and recording it the next day.
Nice. Cool. All right, here's my other question. I don't know if there's a quick answer to this one or not. Have you found any great ways to share your named routes between Laravel and Vue? So one thing that's annoying and sort of frustrating to me, I guess maybe it's just, I don't know, it's just like a convention thing that I like to be able to use my named routes wherever I can. And I would love it if I had a way to be able to say, like, in my Vue stuff when I'm making a Ajax call out or whatever, use user dot, I don't know, register or something like that. Have you found any great way to do that, or do you just hard code all your routes in Vue, or what's your take on that?
Well, actually, in our projects where we use Vue, we haven't come across that problem yet. Most of our Vue thingies are just single page things, that just talk to an API endpoint in the Laravel application, but we don't need to pass routes from Laravel to the Vue side of things. So I can't help you with that one.
Okay,
I'm
no
afraid.
problem. If anybody else is out there listening and they know and they have this figured out, yeah, hit us up on Twitter. We'd love to hear your solution to that. And then one of the last things that we have here before we let you go, Michael kind of came up with this idea a little while ago. We are really wanting to put together a playlist for people who are making, who have to travel to Laracon in New York this year. And this should be easy for you because you're a radio guy that plays music and stuff. So what we're looking to get 3 songs from each of the speakers that we have come on the show. So I don't know if you have those off the top of your head or if we could get those from you at some other point, but even if you just had 1 or 2 that you like that we could listen to in advance, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we will publish a Spotify playlist of them, so fingers crossed they're on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll select a few songs. I think for the occasion, because it's for the Laracon thing, I'll just select some New York bands. So
that'd be awesome.
That's a
Very
nice thing, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll send those to you in a bit.
Very cool. Yeah, and we'll have those in the show notes for anybody who wants to. Well, I don't know. Should we do that, Michael, or should we keep it a secret? What do you think?
I think we'll publish them as we go along, maybe.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds great. Well, so we'll put those in the show notes, and we'll have links to those, and then we'll be making a Spotify playlist as well as we kind of go along in the weeks. But I think that's about it. I think that we've gotten a good amount of time here, and it's been really great talking to you. I've got to know you a little bit better for sure. This is our first time we've been able to kind of talk in person. I say in person, but you know what I mean, over the internet.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's been great catching up with you, hearing a little bit about your background and what you guys are doing over there at Spatie. And yeah, and I wanted to say dankjewel, which is thank you in Dutch, right?
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10, Jacob.
Yes, there we go. The coveted 10 out of 10. Very nice.
So I can't wait to meet you guys in person at Laracon. I'm really looking forward to the event. So
yeah,
will be awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Really looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks again for coming on, Freek. We look forward to seeing you at Laracon this year and hearing your talk.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. We're good. So that's a wrap on that one. I'm going to stop my recording. Eric, you can probably end the live stream, and we'll call that good.